whether we like it or not, we have to talk about it. Yes, the 1-1 draw against Zimbabwe yesterday on home soil is our next conversation. And we're joined, as you can see, by Mr. Toyin Ibitoye, broadcast journalist, joining us virtually on the show this morning. You're not smiling. I expect that you smile. Thank you, at least something to cheer us up. But I think it might be mixed feelings for you. One, the disappointment from that match. But secondly, the fact that you're not the one dealing with all of the pressure from press, having to deal with all of that in the aftermath of what a lot of people consider to be a disappointing outing, right? But I want to start from the end, because we've brought out our calculators. Can we still qualify for the World Cup, Mr. Ibitoye, as it stands right now?
Yes, we can. Well, thank you for the opportunity of being on the morning brief. Okay. I always look forward to being a part of the show anytime I'm invited, because I'm a member of the family.
Definitely.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
It is still a possibility.
With a little permutation and, all of that. But come on, that match was ours for the taking, right? We had all of the ingredients, maybe not all, maybe a few were missing, but we have most of the ingredients we needed to make a very sumptuous meal out of that match. Please, what went wrong? In your own opinion, that is.
I always have a problem when we get to a very high level, because getting to a very high level is not a problem in itself. It is staying at a very high level. So sometimes when you climax too early, the next thing to expect is to slide down. And that was why, I did a lot of postings on social media when we played on Friday against Rwanda, won that game by 2-0, and we were celebrating, we were happy. And I remember I did a few postings and I tried to warn that, look, all the good job done in Kigali, winning this game, will be undone if we do not beat Zimbabwe on Tuesday. And that has played out now. Because it's a long race, but we do not have options anymore. Our campaign in this World Cup qualifiers has been, abysmal. It's been really poor. We've played 6 games. We've had only 1 win. We've not won any game at home. So this campaign has been absolutely disappointing by the standards of Nigeria. And we are still talking about the possibility of qualifying for the World Cup because other teams in the group have conspired to help us to stay in the race. If it was a group where there's a team that is winning all the games, we'll be talking about a team with 18 points, and then you are on 7 points, the race is over. So I try to warn that, look, let's not over-celebrate. Let's keep our focus on the next game. Let's try to get the second victory to keep us in the race for the World Cup. The race is over. The 2026 World Cup race is not over, but the truth is that it has become very difficult now for us to win. We need a miracle. We need several miracles. We need results elsewhere. We need other teams to press the self-destruct button. And then for us to be able to capitalize on those mistakes to get a chance to go through. In summary, our destiny no longer lies in our hands. We have to do our business and hope that results in other places will go our way. Right, so it was really disappointing for me. You asked about what went wrong. A number of factors. We didn't play with urgency. Maybe we were overconfident. These things are there. You may not see them, but they are inside you when you are playing at home and you look at the team you are playing against and you feel, look, it's a matter of time. We're going to roll these people over. We're going to roll over these people, So complacency, a bit of bad luck, because in the first 15 minutes of this game, we could have been 2-3 goals up. And when you don't take your chances in a game of football like this, I've seen so many games where things just turn around suddenly. And eventually when the goal came, I thought we could have managed it better. The goal came late. The goal came in the 70-something, 72nd or 73rd minute. And we could have managed that goal better to get the result we needed. Sometimes you go for a result and forget about the performance. You know, the result is more important than the performance. And that was what I thought we were going to do. But at the end of the day, we didn't get a good result. We didn't put a good performance.
All right,
and it
Mr.
looks like we lost everything that we gained on Friday.
All right, Mr. Ibitoye. So what are we dealing with here? Because I don't know how many times I had to slap the floor yesterday because of that match. Like, why take this chance? The finishing was not clinical. I don't know what you have to say about that. Was it bad luck, or the defensive lineup of the Zimbabweans were quite tactical to know what they anticipated us pretty better than we were trying to, you know, be offensive? And it looks like their tactical plan was hold on as much as you can and then give the spoil at the 90th minute, of the 89th, 90th minute. So is it more bad luck or just non-clinical finish in this case?
It's difficult to say bad luck because you'll be going into areas where you don't have control over when you talk about bad luck. But for the purpose of our discussions, we look at what we did wrong, what we could have corrected. Our approach to that game didn't have the kind of urgency that I anticipated. And there were signs even from the first half. The Zimbabweans had a game plan, keep the Eagles from scoring for as long as you can. And then when we were having those chances and not converting them, we were playing into their script, you know. We were favoring them. And they knew, I mean, their coach said at the post-match, he said, the Eagles will get slower. He said, look, expect they will rush at you, but they will get slower if you are able to hold on. As the game progresses, they get slower and slower. And that's exactly what happened. But then there were signs in that game that I felt we should have reacted to. They had a chance in the first half, if you remember. Kama Billiards, we used to play in South Africa for Mamelodi Sundown, had a chance one-on-one. It was Stanley Wabele that came to the rescue. I don't know whether you remember. One pass, we were attacking, and then they countered, and one pass just split our defense open. At that point, I felt we could have been more cautious and not be naive in thinking that these guys are not going to come to try to score. They had that chance in the first half. They had a good spell towards the end of the first half, and that gave them some belief that, look, maybe these Nigerians are not as buoyant as we thought they were. I think we can attack and get something from the game. And then when we were just wasting the chances, wasting the crosses, not taking our opportunities, you were strengthening the opposition. You know, you were strengthening the opposition.
So complacency, let me just quickly come in there now. Complacency, lack of urgency, those are significant observations. But when we won that match against Rwanda, you know, many would have clapped for the coach. So are we going to lay the blame at the, you know, doorstep of the coach? Is he delivering to expectation, Mr. Ibitoye?
Well, interestingly, if we praise the coach for what he did on Friday, then we have to give him some knocks for what happened yesterday. I thought, you know, we were going to do exactly what we did on Friday, because on Friday, after we got our second goal, the coach became very pragmatic. He left just one striker on the pitch and brought in more midfielders. So we kept the ball. The Rwandans didn't see the ball, and so they couldn't attack us. And we could have played that game for 3 days without a goalkeeper. The ball wouldn't get to him because we kept the ball. We robbed them of the ball. But yesterday was different, maybe because we were playing at home. And the coach said, look, we have one goal. Let's go for more. You know, let's go for more. And then he brought in the second striker. We were playing with 2 strikers. And then our midfield became very lean. And the Zimbabweans started having space at our wing-back positions. And if you remember, they struck the bar. When we were 1-0 up, they struck the bar. At that point, I felt the coach would have, you know, looked at the game and said, look, these guys can score. Let's not assume that they are here to just lie down and die. These guys can score, so let's keep the ball away from them, be more pragmatic with our substitutions, and not try to push for more goals. Let's keep the ball. at their time, keep the ball, don't let them have the ball, and then run the game out. So that was, I think, something that we could have done better.
Ibitoye, it's a sad one. I wanted to come this morning to the show to be just bragging that we did it, but I was disappointed. Now we have to be praying for losses by others so that we can just have a chance to survive. Toyin Ibitoye is a broadcast journalist, a former media advisor to the Super Eagles. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate your thoughts, as always.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, I'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have a lot more for you on the program. Don't go anywhere.